Right, guys, that's a good job. I was doing the video and then all of a sudden it stopped for some reason. But maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's the angels giving me a sign and saying, listen, Luke, forget about the whole negative MGTOW thing. You're celebrating your anniversary of YouTube. Get back to these positive vibes. So, all right. I have started experimenting with a better program for doing better videos, and basically the same way I stream, because I do stream games, the same layout for it, XSplit or whatever layout, with a logo and things like that. I can start doing my videos in the same way now, and I can analyze certain things by putting a video in the corner of the screen and things like that. But I don't really have any videos yet that that I feel I need to go all technical on and all professional on. But getting back to the whole kind of looking back on some of the previous stuff that I've done. So we've mentioned MGTOW, we've mentioned mental health, we've mentioned the Profection philosophy, single parents. I'm looking at videos here now and saying, right, what did I really need to kind of touch up on? I don't think I needed to touch up on any of it really. The counseling video, I mean, I've heard a few people, it seems sometimes when I post videos that people almost, it's like they're kind of secretly doing a response to certain videos sometimes, because I'm kind of fishing around, especially in the NoFap community, and I'm seeing people almost like they're trying to do some sort of response, which is okay, which is cool. I mean, it's not, I'll be honest with you, unless you're really experienced in what you're saying, you know, I talk from the heart, I talk about from personal experiences. So in order to get my attention personally, you're going to have lived it. There's no point in strictly talking about it if you haven't lived it. Me personally. Like I remember one guy was saying in his video, a NoFap video ages ago, was saying, oh, I don't ever use the term hate or this or that. And I did say in one of my videos, I think it's my first one, there is no hate in the word perfection. But yet sometimes I've used it. Yeah, okay, so sometimes I've said I hate this or I hate that. It slipped off my tongue, but guess what? I've never claimed to be perfect on this thing. The reality of it is, even as I sit down here now, I can't really think of anything that I hate. I think there's certain actions by people. Like I could say, I hate it when someone steals from another person. I hate it, and these are words that slip off my tongue at the time, but I don't hold on to it. There's no one out there now as I sit down there now and say, oh, I hate, because I know that internally it's damaging me for me to hold on to that kind of hate. It took me a long time to realize that, about 15 years. So there's no one now that I really hate. But just going through, well, there's no one that I hate, period. But yeah, it is a word that sometimes slips off the top of my tongue, because I could have had a bad day. I could have gone, you know, like the other day I went into the supermarket and I had an issue with the manager there, and I just felt like, you know, getting into fisticuffs with the manager. I still do. I still haven't gone back into the store. There's still a bit of tension there. I could have came home that day and said, damn man, I hate the way I've been treated in Aldi. So what if I did? I'm human, you know what I mean? We're all going to have our little times where we kind of slip up on our own ideologies or teachings, or it's going to happen sometimes, you know, when that raw emotion hits you. Right, that's it. I can't really, I'm looking over these videos and I'm saying, right, there's only one more video that I want to do really, and maybe I should fit it into this one and just get it over and done with. So let's do it, guys. Alright, so this is regarding my whole, a lot of my videos basically I'm saying to people, right, you should be a decent person, you should listen to decent music, and I've got a playlist, up-to-date playlist, where there's nothing but, well, I'd say about 95% of it is positive music, love music, R&B, some of it's reggae music and things like that. So I'm always a big advocate on whole, like, positive vibes and being conscious. Although I was speaking to a female the other day and she was saying I wasn't conscious, which is actually quite amazing, to be honest with you. Did I take it personal at the time? I didn't take it personal at the time. But then after she made a comment like that to me, about a week later she sent me a message on my phone dissing me for me being a personal trainer and maybe me struggling. So at the time, going back a week prior to that, I actually did listen to her. I was like, oh damn, I'm not really a conscious person, so maybe I'm not self-aware, or maybe she's secretly trying to tell me something. But then when I got sent a message a week later of her dissing me out of the blue, because I no longer kind of had time for mind games. But when she sent me something malicious, I said, no, don't worry about what she's saying. You know what I mean? Because a conscious person isn't going to send those kind of messages. You're not going to send a malicious text to someone. Conscious people don't do those things, guys. You know, I don't want to hurt people's feelings here, but conscious people don't do those things. Very rare are they malicious. You can't call yourself conscious and be really malicious. It doesn't really work that way. And I gave my power away to this woman by actually listening to something that she had to say. Okay. Where was I going with this? Right. So I always preach to people that you should be conscious, you should be spiritual, you should be listen to positive things, you should surround yourself with positive people. But I never said to people that the downside to that is that people will go out their way to attack you. People will go out their way to mock you. I remember when I was organising something called... Right, so you see me go to the Rotterdam Sunsplash, right? You see me go there. When I was organising that, I was organising a WhatsApp group and I was throwing everyone into the WhatsApp group. And I was filling it with love. I was saying, listen, man, it's all peace and love. You're my brothers and my sisters. I love you all and this and that. And there were certain people certain dudes in the group that were like, oh, Luke's soft, and Luke's gay, and Luke, and because I was being positive and saying, yo, all my bros, man, I love you guys, man. We're gonna go to this thing and we're gonna party like it's the 1960s, flower power, love, and they suddenly started to maybe throw little digs. Oh, Luke's gay, and Luke's this, and Luke's that. Generally in life, the way things are set up, especially for us as black people, the system is set up so that anything positive that comes into the circle literally gets beat into a pulp. So even though I'm kind of preaching to people, yeah, you need to be positive, and let's face it, sometimes it ain't even just black people, sometimes it's just life, period. Yeah, if you're too nice, people are going to take advantage, people are going to try and punk you and this and that. So my main important message is, even though I preach to people, yeah, you should listen to strictly positive music, you should try to watch nothing but, I don't really watch too much horror and gore and all that kind of stuff anymore. I used to. You should watch positive music, listen to positive films, try to stay away from things like porn. That's the degrading of women, that's leading people into like a homosexual type way of thinking and outlook, and making you a lot more open to certain things. Stay away from these things. Strictly love, strictly peace, surround yourself with positive people and things like that. Even though I'm preaching these things to people, you have to counteract it one way or another. Yeah, when I'm in my gym pumping weights, even though I said I personally wouldn't listen to Eminem, like sitting down here now, I wouldn't listen to it because he's a negative person as far as I'm concerned. And he fills you with that kind of I'll walk along the street and bump into a man, that kind of mentality, which, let's face it, most rap music does do that to you. Even though I don't listen to it in my room, when I'm in my gym pumping my weights, occasionally, I'm not saying listen to his whole album, occasionally an Eminem song will come on and I'll use that negative energy to pump my weights. I do occasionally, it's been a long time, but occasionally I'll do a little bit of shadow boxing. I'll watch a little bit of boxing on TV. I'll watch, let me put it to you another way, guys. You always have to be prepared for a scuff, for fisticuffs. There's no point in you surrounding yourself with positive things, because it will just turn you into a pussy, plain and simple. You will become weak, you will become a doormat. Simple as. And you have to counteract that by going to the gym. And not even so much just the gym. Push the whole gym thing out the way. By just telling yourself that at one stage it's gonna come. Someone's gonna barge into you in the street, or you're gonna be in a room. You're gonna be friendly to other people, and guys are gonna see that as a threat. Oh, this guy thinks he thinks he's nice, yeah. He thinks he's somehow better than the rest of us, yeah. Yeah, and what we're complete dickheads, yeah. Is that what we are? We must be idiots. If we're not like this guy, we must be fools, innit? That's what it is, yeah. Watch this now. Might flick something at your head or whatever. So I'm an advocate of peace, love, and everything else, and love, not war. But if you are heading down that road, especially as a black man, you have to counteract that by looking after yourself one way or another. And you have to have in the back of your mind, be prepared that, remember I was saying to you earlier about the circle, that when good gets thrown into that circle, everyone beats it to a pulp. You have to be prepared that it's going to come back at that something, that evil is out there, and it's going to try and come at you. It's going to try and come at you. When you're evil yourself, people stay away from you, people will respect you more and this and that. But guess what? You've lost, because the devil's won. I don't want to go into the whole religion thing, but the devil's won. He said, look, I don't need to cause this guy any more trouble. We know where he's headed after he leaves this earth. We know where he's going. Do you want to push religion to the side and just stick to science? Alright, we'll stick to science then. Okay, evil people are broken people. It's as simple as that. Evil people are reckless people. Okay? Good people are like diamonds in the rough. We need them. In fact, they're like fuel. They're like petrol for your car. If there is no petrol right now, the world almost goes to a standstill. It goes in chaos. If there is no fuel right now, for our cars or whatever, the world would go to a standstill. We need it. We need fuel, and that's what good people are. They power the world. To every 30 people that are bad, it only takes that one special diamond good person to keep the world going, to keep faith, to keep hope, to turn things around. For you to wake up in the morning and say, you know what, life is beautiful because of that good person. Animals themselves, when I look outside my window, animals themselves, they're not as spiteful as humans. I think the most scariest thing about this world is animals are brought into this world and they can't really communicate as well, and they just adapt to their environment, right? They adapt to it. They adapt to nature and they adapt to whatever environment they're in. Whereas us as human beings, we're brought into this world and we're following the last person. And we're following the last person. So sometimes we don't always get a chance to be creative. We don't always get a chance to explore ourselves, because it's already written for us. Our slates are already written for us. This is what you're going to do. This is what you're going to say. This is how you communicate. And sure, people say, yeah, but Luke, that's progression and that's science and everything else. Yeah, that's the good side to it. But the bad side to it is that, in a sense, then, if you look at it from like say we're going with black people, let's look at it from a black person's point of view, then that means that what he's watching on TV will be things like rap music, will be things like rappers talking about killing each other. What he's watching on TV will be black people calling their own women bitches and things like that. What he's seeing on TV then is black people not, especially English TV, is black people not having any major roles or major, they're at the bottom in regards to success, or and when they're given roles on TV, it's very effeminate roles, like bisexual black people and road sweepers. So everything that is more effeminate, that's what they're seeing. They're either seeing effeminate or they're seeing over the top. anger and aggression and rage. So their slate, in a sense, as they enter this world, that's what's being written for them. And yes, it kind of impacts them in a very big way. But luckily, there are some people that are strong enough in the community to say, look, I understand that I can do a lot of damage with the knowledge that I know to my own people or to the younger generation, because sometimes they're not just doing it to their own people, it's aimed at the whole world, or misleading the whole world and taking us down a dark path. There's some that say, wait a minute here, I understand I have power to manipulate or help to either build or destroy. I have that power. The Lord has gifted me with charisma, and I want to use this. Now I've used it for bad or whatever. It was too easy, and I didn't feel I had a payoff for it. It's easy for me to go out there and use women and lie to women and things like that. How hard is it though for me to sit down and tell women the truth, look them in the eye and be honest with them? That's extremely hard. It's easy for me to beg for money in the street. I'll tell you a story, guys, but I'm not going to go too long through this video, right? I'll tell you a story. There was this guy in America, and I'm not even going to go to his skin color he is anymore. I'm not going to go into that because it's not about that. I'll just say that he was in America, and he was walking up to black people in America, right? And he was saying to them, excuse me, have you got a light? And the black people would go, yeah, let me check. And what they would do is they'd maybe put both hands into their pockets, and as they put both hands into the pockets, the guy would get a knife and stab them. Some guys he stabbed in the throat. Some guys got slashed on the face. And in the other times, what he would do is he would go up to black people on the street and he say, "Excuse me, can you help me with my car?" And they would say, "Right, what's wrong with it?" And they say, "Right, flip the bonnet, or flip the hood of your car." So what they would then do is they would then look into his car, say, "All right, what's wrong with the car?" As they're bent down, he's pulled out a knife and stabbed them in the back. So where are you going with this here? It's easy to be a coward. It's easy to be a negative force. How hard is it to be a building force? You know, and some people within their community or even in life, they can be millionaires or whatever, have realized that, turned it around and said, you know what, I'm going to try the hard way because somehow I feel good because of it. And if we go back to the whole fog in the community, some people have realized that and have devoted their time to do something that gives them a big payoff, and that is that, right, I see that the younger generation are going down this spiral because the system is already set up for them to lose, set up for them to be indoctrinated into this lifestyle, and I'm going to try my best to bring them out of it. And because they're ex-gangsters, they already know how to deal with threats and things like that. So when the threats come at them, they know how to deal with it. Okay? They've gone from bad to being good. What I'm saying to people out there is that if you were born good, however, you've got to learn how to dabble a little bit into the bad. Don't listen to strictly positive music. If you are, throw in a couple negative tracks as well, just to kind of balance it out. If you're strictly around nice people that don't know how to defend themselves, you best be at home shadowboxing and being prepared. You know, because when you suddenly walk down the road one day and that guy does barge into you for no apparent reason, or you know, or you're cornered by someone and it's just unsurprising, you know how to deal with it. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's pretty much it for my my anniversary video. I'm gonna do. I think there's one more video. No, I think that's it. I might do one more video after this, but that's it for a while. I hope you have enjoyed it. It's my 1 year anniversary on YouTube, and yeah, thank you for staying with me. Right, peace.